औरों में कहाँ दम था
Auron mein kahan dum tha is a simple love story which goes on for far too long. A movie which shouldn't have been more than 1 hour 15 minutes drags on for 2 hour 25 minutes. From the very beginning, you can understand that the people involved in the film were not much vested in its making process. The film tries to give a very laid back early 90s romantic kind of feel, but it falls flat in its execution. There are parts of the movie which I liked, because in today's world of overdone sequels, forced universe build-ups, heavily masala-driven movies, this film at least lets you breathe and savor the moments. However, that is where majority of its problem lies. The movie becomes understandably slow. Every scene drags on for an eternity, and you eventually end up drifting away from the narrative. There are staggering 7 songs in the film, and although the songs are nice, they become too much to bear after a while. You'll definitely feel that the writers didn't really care much about this film. You'll find a lot of reviews online, and they will say that why did Ajay Devgn and Tabu decide to make this film? They probably had high hopes from this film, and they expected like this film is going to be a hit, or at least a slow churner. However, I feel differently. If you look at the Bollywood trajectory, you will definitely understand that some films are made as just cash grab. For example, 3-2 or Singham 3, Bulbulaya 3, Bulbulaya 2. All of these are cash grab. Okay, so they have made one hit, and they are using that hit to shell out more money. However, there are certain films I personally feel which are made just to evade tax. This is my personal opinion. I don't know how many of you will agree with me, but this film falls in that category. I believe that the filmmakers definitely knew that this film is not going to work, and it shows. It is evident all throughout the film, starting from the jarring editing, the very laid back cinematography, the forceful screenplay. You will understand that this film was made to ensure that it's a flop. Now, how does that help a filmmaker, or how does that help a production house? If you are anywhere involved in filmmaking, you will definitely understand that losses are helpful. When you are drawing a balance sheet, you must show losses. It's a way of turning black money into white money. I feel like they knew that this was going to be a flop. So talking too much about this film is not going to help. The dialogues fall flat and don't have any impact. There were a hell lot of dialogue, and yet they wasted this entire scope to write even one memorable line. In fact, sometimes there's dubbing mismatch as well. Most of the times, you'll feel that the dialogues are repeating themselves. Every 10 or 15 minutes, you encounter the same dialogues coming from one person's mouth, then from the another person's mouth. The cinematography and basic visual feel of the film feels like a TV serial with no depth of field or emotional perspective. In fact, there are instances where the actors talk straight to the camera, almost as if they deliberately want to break the fourth wall. The movie's predictable plot is essentially carried forward by Shantanu Maheshwari and Sai Manjrekar, who play the young version of Ajay Devgn and Tabu in the flashback scenes. The action scenes have been sped up and don't match the tone of the film. On that note, the movie has lots of slow motion scenes which literally make you want to shoot yourself as they go on and on forever. There are some scenes which linger on for 5 or 7 minutes where nothing is happening on screen, just two actors looking at each other and delivering the same dialogue again and again. Now I'm going to give you a spoiler. So if you have not watched this film, skip or go watch the film and come back. Now the movie is about a young couple. They fall in love, and essentially the girl was molested and in order to save her, her boyfriend kills the goons. And he goes to jail for 25 years, but he serves for 23 years as he was released for good behavior. And in the meanwhile, she gets married, she has a family, and when he's released, he comes back, meets her and her husband, and goes to Dubai. That's it. That's the entire plot of the film. There's no twist, no turn. Now, when you watch this film, you can't sympathize with the characters. You know why? Because the glaring plot hole stares you in the eye. When Shantanu, as in young Ajay Devgn, he kills these people, it's later revealed though that he didn't kill them. The girl kills the guys, the goons, and he takes the blame for her and goes to jail. That entire part is repeated around 3 times. First a normal version, then a modified version, and finally the truth. It's repeated 3 times in the entire movie's runtime.
क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
When you know the truth, you'll simply laugh at the writers. Basically, the 23 years in jail was for nothing. Absolutely nothing. The girl killed the goons in self-defense. She was going to be molested. She found some weapon. She just killed them. So why did he go to jail? Why did he take the blame for her? It was not a cold-blooded murder. All they had to do was go to the police and say that this is what happened. She even had the bruise marks. Like the evidence was all over the place. Like these people just took her to a warehouse and they were trying to molest her. She shouted while Shantanu was coming. She already had killed those guys. And when Shantanu came, he took the weapon and said that, no, I love you so much. You go, you live your life. I'll take the blame for you. What? You didn't have to take the blame. She didn't do anything wrong. And he goes to the police, which is not shown. There's a legal proceeding, which is also not shown. And he is given 25 years life sentence. For what? Okay. Now, the movie is 2 hours 25 minutes long. They repeat one scene 3 times. They repeat one dialogue 15 times. However, the writers didn't have time to show you a court scene, to show you that Shantanu indeed went and surrendered to the police. Now, when he went and surrendered to the police, he must have given some explanation as to why he killed those people, right? He was definitely asked, why did you suddenly kill your neighbors? By the way, those people were they lived in the same area, the Chaul. So what explanation did he give to the police? What did he say to the court? Why was he convicted without any proof? It's not mentioned, it's not shown in the film. You just assume that, oh, he took the blame and he went to jail. That's it. In the beginning, we are shown that Shantanu is a very smart guy. He gives everything a lot of thought. Although the trailer of the movie shows otherwise. हम करते पहले सोचते बाद में. It's implied that he's a hothead. He might be a hothead, but he is a smart guy. He knows technology. He knows stuff. So him doing such a stupid thing makes no sense. And not 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 23 years in jail. By the way, when we come to that point, in those 23 years, during those 23 years, he actually commits another murder while being in jail. That has no repercussion. He is not convicted. That never comes up. He kills that person open in front of everyone. Like there are no witnesses, obviously, but circumstantial evidence would prove that he was the murderer. And that is never brought up. He actually kills the main guy, the Pakya, the main guy who was trying to molest his girlfriend while being in jail. And they simply forget that, oh, he committed another murder, no? That's not important to the plot. What? I don't understand what today's directors and writers are smoking. And if they can tell me, definitely I would like to give it a try. You forget stuff. You write stuff which you have not written. In conclusion, I'd like to say that Auron mein Kahan Dum tha would have been a much better film if the cinematographer had done their job well, if the writers had done their job well, if the director had done their job well, if the actors had done their job well, and after editing they had decided not to make this film. I give this movie a 1 out of 5 star because इससे ज़्यादा देने में मुझ में कहाँ दम था.